NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code, addresses smoke detector placement in various building configurations. Section 11.13.12 specifically covers spaces with peak ceilings, stating that smoke detectors should be installed on the ceiling at the peak of the roof or within 12 inches or 305 mm below the peak of the roof. Section 11.13.13 addresses spaces with vaulted ceilings, mandating that smoke detectors be installed on the ceiling at the highest point of the ceiling. Now, let's consider several key factors for installing smoke detectors in a living room with a cathedral ceiling that's approximately 70 feet long and 25 feet high. Firstly, location is crucial. Placing smoke detectors at the peak of the roof or within 12 inches below it is generally accepted as the best location for maximum coverage. This is because smoke naturally rises and tends to accumulate at the highest point of a room. Secondly, maintenance is a significant consideration. Servicing smoke detectors in a cathedral ceiling can be challenging due to the height. You should consider using a ladder or hiring a professional for maintenance. Thirdly, drafting plays a vital role. Smoke tends to rise and accumulate at the highest point of a room. Placing smoke detectors at the end of the room may not provide adequate coverage, especially in the center. Fourthly, distance must be factored in. Ensure that the smoke detectors are spaced in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and NFPA 72 requirements, typically within 30 feet of each other. Based on these considerations, it's recommended to install the smoke detectors at the peak of the roof or within 12 inches below the peak. This will provide the best coverage and is in accordance with NFPA 72 requirements. If maintenance is a concern, discuss alternative options with the homeowner, such as hiring a professional or using a ladder specifically designed for high ceilings. Now let's delve further into the details of NFPA 72 and its implications for your specific situation. NFPA 72 provides comprehensive guidelines for fire, alarm, and signaling systems, including smoke detectors. It's essential to consult the latest edition of the code to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. The code addresses various aspects of smoke detector installation, including location, spacing, and maintenance. For cathedral ceilings, the primary consideration is to position the smoke detectors where they can effectively detect smoke rising from a fire. This is why the code specifies installation at or near the peak of the ceiling. Placing smoke detectors at the peak takes advantage of the natural tendency of smoke to rise to the highest point in the room. This ensures that the detectors will be among the first to sense smoke, providing early warning of a fire. The 12-inch allowance below the peak provides some flexibility in installation, but it's important to stay as close to the peak as possible to maintain optimal performance. When determining the spacing between smoke detectors, refer to the manufacturer's instructions and NFPA 72 requirements. The typical spacing requirement is within 30 feet of each other, but this may vary depending on the specific detectors being used and the characteristics of the room. In a lawn room like the one described, it may be necessary to install multiple smoke detectors to ensure adequate coverage. In addition to location and spacing, maintenance is a critical aspect of smoke detector performance. Smoke detectors should be tested regularly to ensure they are functioning properly. Batteries should be replaced as needed, and the detectors should be cleaned periodically to remove dust and debris. The height of cathedral ceilings can make maintenance challenging. Consider using a long-handled testing tool or hiring a professional to perform maintenance. When discussing smoke detector placement with the homeowner, it's important to explain the reasons behind the recommendations. Emphasize the importance of installing the detectors at the peak of the ceiling for optimal performance. Also, discuss the challenges of maintenance and the options for addressing them. If the homeowner is concerned about the aesthetics of smoke detectors, explore alternative models that are more visually appealing. Some smoke detectors are designed to blend in with the ceiling or wall, minimizing their visual impact. It's also important to educate the homeowner about the importance of regular testing and maintenance. Explain how to test the detectors and how often they should be tested. Provide information on how to replace the batteries and how to clean the detectors. By educating the homeowner, you can empower them to maintain their smoke detectors and ensure their continued effectiveness. In addition to NFPA 72, local building codes may also have requirements for smoke detector installation. Check with the local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. The building department can provide information on local requirements for smoke detector location, spacing, and maintenance. They may also have specific requirements for smoke detectors in cathedral ceilings. When installing smoke detectors, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide detailed information on how to install the detectors properly, including how to wire them and how to mount them to the ceiling. Use appropriate tools and materials to ensure secure and reliable installation. If you are not comfortable installing smoke detectors yourself, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. An electrician will have the knowledge and experience to install the detector safely and correctly. They can also advise you on the best location for the detectors and ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Remember that smoke detectors are a critical safety device that can save lives. By following NFPA 72 requirements and local building codes, you can ensure that smoke detectors are installed properly and function effectively. Regular testing and maintenance are essential to maintaining the effectiveness of smoke detectors. By taking these steps, you can help protect your home and family from the dangers of fire. Now let's elaborate on specific aspects of NFPA 72 related to smoke detector types and interconnection. NFPA 72 recognizes several types of smoke detectors, including ionization smoke detectors, photoelectric smoke detectors, and combination smoke detectors. Ionization smoke detectors are generally more responsive to flaming fires, while photoelectric smoke detectors are generally more responsive to smoldering fires. Combination smoke detectors combine both ionization and photoelectric sensors to provide comprehensive fire detection. The choice of smoke detector type depends on the specific hazards present in the home. In general, combination smoke detectors are recommended for most residential applications. NFPA 72 also requires that smoke detectors be interconnected so that when one detector alarms, all detectors in the home alarm. This ensures that occupants are alerted to a fire even if they are located far away from the source of the fire. Interconnection can be achieved through hardwiring or wireless technology. Hardwired interconnection requires running wires between the smoke detectors. Wireless interconnection uses radio frequency signals to communicate between the detectors. Wireless interconnection is generally easier to install, but it is important to ensure that the detectors are compatible with each other and that the wireless signal is reliable. When interconnecting smoke detectors, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide detailed information on how to wire the detectors together or how to pair them wirelessly. Test the interconnection to ensure that all detectors alarm when one detector is activated. In addition to interconnection, NFPA 72 also addresses the power supply requirements for smoke detectors. Smoke detectors must be powered by a primary power source, such as household electricity, and a secondary power source, such as batteries. The secondary power source ensures that the smoke detectors will continue to function even if the primary power source fails. Batteries should be replaced regularly to ensure that they are in good working condition. NFPA 72 also addresses the placement of smoke detectors near cooking appliances. Smoke detectors should not be located too close to cooking appliances, as cooking fumes can trigger false alarms. A distance of at least 10 feet is recommended between smoke detectors and cooking appliances. If false alarms are a problem, consider using a smoke detector with a hush feature that allows you to temporarily silence the alarm. In addition to the technical requirements of NFPA 72, it is also important to consider the aesthetic aspects of smoke detector installation. Smoke detectors should be installed in a location where they are visible but not obtrusive. Choose smoke detectors that blend in with the decor of the room. Some smoke detectors are available in a variety of colors and finishes to match different decorating styles. It is also important to consider the accessibility of smoke detectors for testing and maintenance. Smoke detectors should be installed in a location where they can be easily reached for testing and battery replacement. If the smoke detectors are located in a high ceiling, consider using a long-handled testing tool or hiring a professional to perform maintenance. By considering both the technical and aesthetic aspects of smoke detector installation, you can ensure that smoke detectors are both effective and visually appealing. Remember that smoke detectors are a critical safety device that can save lives. By following NFPA 72 requirements and local building codes, you can ensure that smoke detectors are installed properly and function effectively. Regular testing and maintenance are essential to maintaining the effectiveness of smoke detectors. By taking these steps, you can help protect your home and family from the dangers of fire. Let's now shift our attention to the importance of documentation and record keeping related to smoke detector installation and maintenance, something often overlooked but critical for long-term safety and liability purposes. Maintain detailed records of all smoke detector installations, including the date of installation, the location of each detector, the type of detector installed, and any specific notes or considerations related to the installation. This documentation will be invaluable for future maintenance, inspections, and potential liability claims. Also, keep records of all smoke detector testing and maintenance activities, including the date of each test, the results of the test, any maintenance performed, and the date of battery replacements. This documentation will demonstrate that you have been proactive in maintaining the smoke detectors and ensuring their continued effectiveness. Consider creating a smoke detector maintenance schedule and posting it in a prominent location in the home. This will serve as a reminder to test the smoke detectors regularly and replace the batteries as needed. The schedule should include the date of the last test, the date of the next scheduled test, and the date of the last battery replacement. Furthermore, provide the homeowner with a copy of the smoke detector installation and maintenance records. This will empower them to take ownership of the smoke detector system and ensure its continued effectiveness. Explain the importance of regular testing and maintenance and provide them with the necessary tools and information to perform these tasks. In addition to maintaining written records, consider using a digital record-keeping system. There are many apps and software programs available that can help you track smoke detector installations, testing, and maintenance activities. These systems can provide reminders for scheduled maintenance and generate reports on the status of the smoke detector system. When selecting smoke detectors, choose models that have a long lifespan and are easy to maintain. Look for smoke detectors that have a sealed battery compartment and a self-testing feature. These features will reduce the need for frequent battery replacements and testing. Also, consider using smoke detectors that have a wireless interconnection feature. Wireless interconnection makes it easier to install and maintain the smoke detector system, as there is no need to run wires between the detectors. When installing smoke detectors in a new construction project, coordinate with other trades to ensure that the smoke detector system is properly integrated with the building's electrical and fire alarm systems. This will ensure that the smoke detectors are installed in the correct locations and that they are properly connected to the building's electrical and fire alarm systems. Before commencing any smoke detector installation or maintenance work, ensure that you have the necessary training and qualifications. Smoke detector installation and maintenance can be dangerous if not performed properly. Only qualified electricians or fire alarm technicians should perform this work. Finally, remember that smoke detectors are just one component of a comprehensive fire safety plan. In addition to smoke detectors, it is also important to have a fire extinguisher, a fire escape plan, and regular fire drills. By taking these steps, you can help protect your home and family from the dangers of fire. Let's delve into some additional considerations for smoke detector placement in unique architectural designs beyond cathedral ceilings, ensuring comprehensive coverage regardless of the building's structure. In homes with split-level designs, install smoke detectors on each level, including the basement. This will ensure that smoke is detected quickly, regardless of where the fire originates. In homes with multiple sleeping areas, install smoke detectors in each sleeping area and in the hallway outside each sleeping area. This will ensure that occupants are alerted to a fire even if they are sleeping. In homes with attached garages, install smoke detectors in the garage and in the hallway between the garage and the living area. This will help to detect fires that originate in the garage, which can be a common source of residential fires. In homes with long hallways, install smoke detectors at each end of the hallway and in the middle of the hallway. This will ensure that smoke is detected quickly, regardless of where the fire originates. In homes with vaulted ceilings that are not peaked, install smoke detectors at the highest point of the ceiling. This will take advantage of the natural tendency of smoke to rise to the highest point in the room. In homes with sloped ceilings, install smoke detectors on the high side of the ceiling within 12 inches of the peak. This will ensure that the smoke detectors are positioned to detect smoke as it rises. In homes with beamed ceilings, install smoke detectors on the underside of the beams as close to the ceiling as possible. This will help to minimize the obstruction of smoke flow caused by the beams. In homes with decorative ceilings, such as coffered ceilings or tray ceilings, install smoke detectors in a location where they are not obstructed by the decorative elements. It may be necessary to consult with a fire alarm professional to determine the best location for smoke detectors in these types of ceilings. In homes with skylights, install smoke detectors away from the skylights, as skylights can create drafts that can interfere with smoke detection. A distance of at least 3 feet is recommended between smoke detectors and skylights. In homes with ceiling fans, install smoke detectors away from the ceiling fans, as ceiling fans can disrupt the flow of smoke and delay detection. A distance of at least 3 feet is recommended between smoke detectors and ceiling fans. In homes with humid environments, such as bathrooms and laundry rooms, use smoke detectors that are designed to resist moisture. These smoke detectors are less likely to trigger false alarms due to humidity. In homes with dusty environments, use smoke detectors that are designed to resist dust. These smoke detectors are less likely to trigger false alarms due to dust. And always remember, compliance with NFPA 72 and local building codes is paramount for ensuring the effectiveness of your smoke detector system. Consulting with a qualified electrician or fire alarm technician can provide tailored solutions for your specific home design and fire safety needs.